What clever tap. He knew exactly where Leoncelli was. Gets them into position to have their first attack for the second half. Neitz was over the ball. Uze emerged with it, kicked it high. It's a one-on-one contest. Beams spoilt by Lockyer. Robertson again getting involved, flicking it back Walsh. It's getting slippery already out there. Umpire let it all go on. Robertson well tackled. White also well tackled. Almost slow motion stuff at the moment. Robertson bundles it out. Walsh pushed as he kicked, and that was pretty good for the Pies. Just bundling the ball onto the wing. An arm wrestle. Mel Michael. Which way's the free going? It's going Collingwood's way.
Yeah.
No, it's going Melbourne's way.
He's pointed the wrong way. He's made the correct decision, but just pointed the wrong way.
Well, I don't know how you could have paid it to either player, to be honest. McDonald gets the ball deep inside 50. Neat's the leaper. Walsh versus Williams. Williams intent on getting it towards the line, and he did that well. That's over and out.
I think Collingwood's big chance of winning this game rests with Prestigiacomo and Mark Richardson playing on Schwarz and Neitz. Schwarz and Neitz, of course, two gun forwards. They haven't been in the game so far. And I think if Prestigiacomo and Richardson can do that job for the rest of the game, then the Pies just might pull off an upset here today. Johnstone, hands and knees. Dimartina as well, just in his second game. Johnstone does well, gets the ball out wide, looking for Leoncelli. Finally taken back over the line by McDonald.
They've had 3 marks between them, Schwarz and Neitz.
Well, they've had no impact on the game. David Schwarz kicked a goal off the ground, his 200th in AFL football, but no real impact up forward. I thought today they may really trouble the Collingwood defence with their marking, but not being able to hang on to the marks at all. They set it up. Licuria gives it across to Rocker, unloads a big bomb, thumps the ball back. They want a free kick for Tarrant. It was very similar to the one a few moments ago with Woden. Collins comes away from half-back for Melbourne, looks for White, and marks inside the centre square to the run of Powell, who just wobbles the ball forward. A poor kick, shocking bounce for Neitz. Collingwood players 4 against 1. Prestigiacomo did some good shepherding. Lockyer comes away with the ball, pumps the ball wide, and finds Tyson Lane. So the run is on. Orchard was a target. It was a poor kick. Taken away by Rigoni. Under pressure. Forced up against the boundary line. Squeezed up. Taken away by Phoebe. Rockets the ball wide. Powell sets it up again. A poor handball. Didn't hit a target. Uze with a touch of the fumbles. Kicks it off the ground. And goes 35 metres for a boundary throw-in just 5 metres around from the Demons' goal.
It's going to be a scrap now, Aussie, isn't it, by the look of it?
Yeah, I think, Hutto, you have to ask the question after that passage of play, how slippery is the ball now, and how much rain has there been out there on the ground?
Well, the ball in the pocket. Richardson and Schwarz. He got boot to it, Schwarz. Robertson over the top. Really make an enormous effort to knock it out. The umpire deciding the bounce is what is required. Josh Fraser having a rest at the moment. As we said, Anthony Rocker running in the ruck. Deep in attack, Melbourne. Schwarz got it down. They had some runners. Powell stayed back. He can't get it. Neitz over the top. Batheris conceding. And so the margin now 4 points.
Yeah, good work, Rupert Batheris. You don't muck around when it's 10 metres out from goal. Don't give Melbourne a second opportunity. Just bang it through and start again.
Lockyer to bring the ball back into play. 7-7 the Demons, 7-3 the Pies. He goes short. Like he was looking for Orchard, changed his mind and kicks it straight to Ben Beams. What a turnover.
Well, there's one thing playing on and going short, KB, but you don't do it on the opposite side of the body. And coaches always say, if you're going to turn the ball over, you turn it over long. And to turn it over short, 30 metres out in front of goal, to Ben Beams, who is a left footer on the right side of his body here, right side of goals.
Started on the bench, came on in the second quarter, had a real impact on the game. So Beams to extend the lead to 10 points. 45 metres out. Demons in front by 10.
I think that's one area of Collingwood's game that's been disappointing all afternoon. You can't in any way question their endeavour and their enthusiasm, but just turnovers has killed them. And as I said, to turn the ball over at a critical part of the game in that area of the ground and just give them an easy goal like that, it's just crazy.
It's a big goal, isn't it, for Ben Beams? 10 points to margin, slippery conditions. And they're going forward again. Beams with some confidence, finds Walsh. So Melbourne deep inside 50 already. Lockyer, chance to redeem himself. Didn't muck around that time, just banged it on the boot. Good work from Brown, kept it alive, kept it up. This is Oborn, he might fancy himself. Pumps it long to the square, good distance. Oh, Tyson Lane, he broke away but just couldn't take the mark. And Phoebe clearing it for Melbourne. Out to half back. Oh, Uze, just showing his wonderful talents. His kick though just a little bit too far. Good tackling, Lucuria got rid of Jeff White. Oh, he did it incorrectly, said the umpire. What did
the umpires deemed that he didn't have possession of the ball there. I'd like to see that on replay, actually.
So Jeff White again to send Melbourne forward. Neitz leads to about 38. It wasn't a bad kick. Just couldn't hang on to it. Williams dragged down as he kicked it. It was relatively effective though for Collingwood because it finds the line. Peter Walsh. Oh, Beams in trouble.
Looks like he may have injured his wrist here pretty severely. He looks to be in quite a bit of pain. So this is a blow because he's just kicked a goal and he's been a very good player since coming off the bench. Very dark and gloomy, the MCG. They should put the lights on. Schwarz with strength, tries to fire off the ball, does well. Back to Walsh on 50. Danger here for the Pies. Neitz takes the front position, just hasn't been able to hang on to his marks. Preston Chiakoma has been very good in defence. Burns pumps the ball wide to O'Brien. Some run now for the Pies. Atkins, the youngster, carries the ball and thumps it down, looking for Tarrant. He can be the focal point up forward. Gavin Brown on the lead, that's been ignored. The kick's a wobbly one, looking for Oborn. Traps it, 35 metres out, a centering kick. Danger here for Melbourne. Mel Michael in front, dives on the ball. Woden over the top. Still loose. They wanted a free kick.
I think they should have got one, KB.
White, that centre-half back, wants to set it up, trying to be the playmaker, does well. To Ragoni, who charges away from half-back, kicks the ball wide. What a kick. Finds Uze, a dangerous player. This time, Schwarz, second grab, he's got it.
Yeah, poor old Ben Beans going off the ground. Doesn't look good. You'd hate to guess what the problem is, but definitely looks like his wrist from here.
Melbourne by 10 points. David Schwarz. 9 possessions today. He's kicked a goal. He's 200th in AFL football. Came with a kick off the ground in the first quarter. Schwarz to extend the lead. The vice captain. They're in front by 16 points.
Good on you, David Schwarz. He, to me, one of the most inspirational stories in football. He's had that many problems with his knees, so many knee reconstructions. Not dissimilar to Lee Walker of Collingwood, who ended up finishing his career. But what a story of persistence David Schwarz is. You know, after all those operations, he's one of Melbourne best and fairest, and he's just so competitive. Just a great story.
So plenty to think about for Mick Malthouse. And the Collingwood hierarchy now, all of a sudden, the lead, which changed 7 times in the first half, has blown out to 16 points. Orchard over the top, holding it in. And really, things can change just so quickly, can't they? A few moments ago, the ball was at the Collingwood end of the ground, and I thought Mel Michael was infringed once, maybe twice by Shane Woden. He was certainly hanging on to his jumper when the ball came down, and then maybe he was over the top as well of the shoulder. But the ball was whipped down, and now Melbourne scored the goal. They lead by 16 points. So a big test for the Pies here. And their midfield has been pretty good, but at the moment they're just being a little bit overwhelmed. McDonald sending it out to Uze. Good distance on the kick. Run with it, Farmer. And he takes the mark. Came back on when Beams went off. And Farmer, who's had just one kick, one handball and one mark, line up for his first goal. for the Pies, Richard.
Yeah, well, Melbourne probably did threaten to blow the game out, but you'd hate to pinpoint one area of the game or one piece of play that was the turning point, but just that turnover from Tarkin Lockyer, perhaps when the game's all over and it's been won or lost by either Melbourne or Collingwood, you'll look back and say that was a critical turnover and that really did change the outcome of the game.
Melbourne by 22 points. Jeff Farmer, just the 3 possessions today, has been cooling his heels on the bench. He's come on to replace Beams and he's kicked a goal. Rocker wins the tap. Dimatina paddles the ball long in front, kept his eyes on the ball and his body in line. McDonald thumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Neitz goes to ground. Farmer beaten this time. Now the free kick is going to Collingwood.
I like the look of Oborne. Just moves well, I reckon.
Well, he's got it on the edge of the centre square, back edge. Again, a very ordinary kick.
Still like the look of him, Hutto?
Not so much now, is he?
Just flopped off the boot. So the Demons with a bit more life in the legs in this third term. Jeff White finds Leoncelli, marks in front of Rocker to centre half forward. This time Neitz must take a mark.
Well, KB, that's been the difference. Obviously, Collingwood have stuck with him in the first half, but I don't remember seeing a Collingwood forward hit on the lead like that. Gavin Brown's provided a good couple of options, but just the turnovers, whereas Melbourne with Leoncelli, perfect lead by David Neitz and a perfect pass. Simon Prestigiacomo could not have stopped that.
Yet to register a score, David Neitz. His partner in crime, David Schwarz, has booted 2. Neitz from just outside of 50. It's going. It's going. It's gone. Well, he was their leading goal kicker last year with 46 goals, David Neitz. Been playing up back, but that's a very important goal.
It is, KB, and I think unless something extraordinary happens to the outcome of this game, it's going, it's gone, is just about what you can say about Collingwood's chances in this contest.
Well, that just about sums up Collingwood's position at the moment. An air of gloom among the Magpie fans. White dominating the ball out of the middle there, getting a really decisive tap. And in this quarter, the centre hit-outs 4-1. It's certainly where they've been getting the ball moving.
Inside 50, 11 to Melbourne, 3 for Collingwood.
They've really blown it open in the last 8 minutes, boys. Melbourne have kicked the last 4 goals of the game.
Rocker still in the ruck. Fraser warming up, though, to come back on. So Malthouse obviously agrees that that's an area they need to make a change in. It's a pretty good tackle, given that it was Johnson just ducked the head and went straight into that. See the rain falling down as Josh Fraser gets ready to come back on. Aussie, you predicted at half-time the rain would favour Collingwood, so that's another marvellous prediction.
That's how much I know about the game.
Burns over the top. Oh, Rigoni did well, handled it surely, out in front of Robertson. Johnson laconically kicks off the left, and that, I think, is what, as much as anything, disappoints Melbourne fans and no doubt officials about Travis Johnson. Sometimes, given his skills, oh dear, hang on. Oh, well done, Jeff Farmer.
Well, if there's one player in the competition who can excite the fans, it's the Wizard. He has done nothing all day. He's been taken from the field. He's come on when Beams went off with what looks to be a bad wrist injury. He's come straight on the ground, kicked a goal, and now taken a ripper mark.
Leon Davis coming off as Farmer drills it. His second. And how quickly things can turn around. We were celebrating Leon Davis's first half performance. And 5 goals later for Melbourne, and he's off the ground. And that kick from Orchard just wasn't good enough. And maybe Lockyer should have been a bit higher, Aussie, there to try and make it.
Yeah, perhaps, but
it was hard, wasn't it?
Well, it was hard. And I think at the end of the day, it was a very risky kick by Orchard, turning the ball over in front of goal again. That's the second time we've seen that, and very crucial mistake by Collingwood.
He's booted 31 goals for the season, the Wizard, Jeff White. His confidence is high, so Zuze has had a great game, 18 possessions, tumbles the ball forward, but Theris is caught. Good tackle by Robertson. And a ball up on the edge of the centre square, half-forward line for Melbourne. Leon Davis on the bench. Did very well in the first half. Just a young man still making his way in the game. Fraser started on the bench in this third quarter, now on the ruck. Walsh. Demons with some extra strength midfield. Rigoni, Leoncelli, a bit more muscle. Schwarz looks dangerous. Couldn't take it, second grab. Full marks to Richardson, made a strong contest, but Theris to Burns. All of a sudden, the Collingwood defence under a lot of pressure. Adkins comes away from half-back. Brown on the lead. That's been ignored. He's gone for the longer option. He's got it. Rocker. Now, Mel Michaels on a long lead. He's got Woden to beat. There's a height advantage. Michaels takes the front position. He's got it. Gives it across to Orchard. It's going to bounce through.
Yeah, it was a good mark from Mel Michael, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a test of strength, and obviously he had more strength than his direct opponent. But it obviously paid off, but I just thought it was a little risky to play on and give the ball to Orchard. But you know, Mel obviously knew what he was doing, and Mark Orchard was good enough to finish it off with a goal. Just a wry smile on his face.
I think that look summed it up. I'm not sure that he really wanted it.
Yeah, sigh of relief, that's for sure.
Well, a big relief for Collingwood now that they've got that goal on the board. We saw Brisbane storm home last night against the Kangaroos. There's plenty of time left in the match. But Jeff White dominating out of the middle, and it makes it awfully hard for the defence when the amount of supply they're getting at the moment. Lockyer trying to watch Farmer. Schwarz just cleared the path for himself. Almost went out of bounds. Didn't quite. Johnstone breaks the tackle. Farmer again. No, across the face. And it bounced, I think, didn't it, before it went out of bounds? It did, so I'll have a throw in deep in the forward pocket.
Jeff Farmer on screen. The Wizard has kicked 2 goals in his third term. He might kick 3. The Wizard! Number 3! Well, it's a funny game, football. He should be still sitting on the bench because Ben Beams came on, did very well replacing Jeff Farmer. It looks like he may have cracked a wrist or broken a wrist or a hand. He's gone off the field in his third term. They've had to bring Farmer on, and he's gone bang, bang, bang with 3 quick goals.
He's done very well. Actually, I'm with the belief that a guy like Farmer should never be on the bench. He's always going to have that ability to do something special. I remember an old teammate of mine, Mickey Conlon. He could go all day without kicking a goal, and when most needed, he'd do it. Jeff Farmer's that sort of guy. Leave him on there.
Yes, there's players like that. Paul Hudson is one. You never know when they're going to kick their goals. They just sort of, in a great burst, aren't they? They're likely to kick 3 or 4 and a quarter, and Farmer's done this in his third term.
Well, it's out of the middle where the trouble started. Fraser now in there. Orchard, a hurried kick. At least getting Collingwood to half forward, but Oborne had it ripped away. Burns has got it just a slight edge on Johnson there to get to the ball. And he's over it, and he just got rid of it in time. Melbourne, though, keeping it alive. Walsh's handball to Leoncelli. Rigoni, well wrapped up. That's good work. O'Brien, it was a funny old handball. Bit of head skills there from Williams. Broke the tackle, sets it up. Made it pretty tough for Mel Michael in the end. And that's a low tackle on Collins. No, not paid. Oh, Brown, well wrapped up. Tarrant, oh, he's gone. Was it a throw? No. Umpire letting it all go. Up to full forward. Here's Tyson Lane. No, he couldn't take it either. Demons win out. Huze's kick into the middle of the ground. And it still opens up for Melbourne. Great pick up from Schwarz. Shrugs the tackle. Got the handball back. Leoncelli. He was Rigoni. He was almost caught. But got it off to James McDonald, who's just on the ground. Farmer again. Lockyer having a nightmare of a third quarter. Neitz isn't... that wasn't a good kick. And Scotty Burns takes the mark.
Too close to the man on the mark, Jeff Farmer. Had to get back from the man, give himself a little bit of space. Burns goes wide, so a transfer of play, finds Richardson. Shares the ball along with O'Brien, pumps the ball back. Batheris ran with the flow of the ball. It was a tough one. Whelan to Walsh, to Schwarz, into the centre square. Great play. Finds Johnstone. They're just a bit too physically strong midfield. You know, Rigoni and Leoncelli. They've got that physical size about them.
It's just been the sheer weight of numbers, KB.
And Uze, of course, also around the centre of the square.
Yeah, well, the class is just starting to rise to the top now.
Travis Johnstone just still trying to really become a permanent player with the Demons. He's kicked a goal. He's 45 metres out. Wonderful kick. Two goals to Travis Johnstone. And all of a sudden, the Demons are 91 to play 51. They're 40 points in front after leading by just 3 points at half-time.
Yeah, well, that passage of play started down back. There was 5 or 6 tackles in a row. Just sheer pressure just blew Collingwood out of the water. And as you said, Uze and Rigoni and Leoncelli, these sort of guys are getting so much of the ball through the middle and just giving their forwards the opportunity to kick those goals.
Well, it's out to 40 points now. It was only 3 at half-time. So a terrific quarter by the Demons. And here they go again out of the middle. Probing kick. Oh, Neitz almost. Burns. Well tackled by McDonald. The pressure was still on. Hurry kick forward from Uze right to the point of the square. Robertson! And he wants to go on and make sure of it. Another one to the D's. 3 goals to Russell Robertson. An 8-goal quarter by Melbourne. And they have blown this game.
Yeah, you'll see on replay, I think Russell Robertson wasn't too sure whether the umpire, in fact, was going to pay the mark. So he was going to put it, no doubt, in the umpire's mind whatsoever. He played on and banged it through. 3 goals to Russell Robertson. What a class performance.
Well, Batheris has done a pretty good job on him since quarter time until then.
19 possessions too to Robinson. He's had a lot of the ball.
And he's taken 10 marks today and he's booted 3 goals. 27 goals for the season. Dimatina for the Pies. Deep in the forward line. That's a good kick. And he finds Mel Michael. So just the eyes darting to see whether or not there's an opportunity. He's well within kicking distance. But it's a centering kick and it's a poor one. Because Uze nearly took a one-hander. And does well at ground level. It's been magnificent today. Adam Uze, Rigoni, that look-away handball, sets it up. Whelan comes away from half-back. There's an almighty buzz going around the ground. The Demon fans have come alive. Simmons pumps the ball back towards centre-half-back. Rigoni rockets the ball across. McDonald runs through the centre square to the half-forward line. Schwarz in front. Richardson does well. Dimatina, the crummer. Playmaker sets it up to O'Brien. Comes away from half-back. Looking for a loose player, didn't really hit his target again. Licuria, all of a sudden the Magpies look a little bit ragged. Leon Davis straight off the bench, around the corner again, didn't really hit the target. Coming away with the ball and pumping the ball back towards the forward line is Jackatine. Good kick, and the mark's been paid.
In the back, I think, was it? Or no?
I thought he may have paid the mark. Gavin Brown's got it. Let's have a look. No, there was not a mark. So Gavin Brown. An important kick for the Pies. Just 3.5 minutes left in this third term. They've been blown away. 8 goals to 1 this quarter. He's kicked 9 goals, 1 for the season. Great kick. Right to the line. I think he may have kicked it. He's got it.
Well, if that made the distance, KB. That made the distance by 3 millimetres.
That's enough.
Yeah, you don't get 7 points for kicking it further, do you? But as you see on the replay, that was not a mark. Obviously, the umpire was blindsided. Gavin obviously not noted for his length in kicking. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's a good decision. That is a goal.
Well, the lights are on here at the MCG. They've been off for most of the quarter for Collingwood, though. 15-9. Out of the middle, Williams. They could just finish off the quarter with a couple, Collingwood. They, well, at least keep themselves within touch. They need to get another couple. They've got 3 minutes to do it in. Oh, what a big grab from Tarrant! You've got to admit that there is some young talent down there, and young Tucky as well, who's not playing today, is another forward of the future.
Is that some young Tarrant or some young talent, you said?
That would be talent, Richard.
No, KB did sing his praises earlier. There's no doubt he is a talented young player.
Let's see if he can convert from 40. Looks good. It is good. So well done. We've kicked 2 in the last minute and 3 goals to Chris Tarrant. His afternoon at the office. 10 disposals and 6 marks and 3 straight, and that is his best grab.
It was a strong grab, wasn't it? Just took that with a lot of authority. And that'll give his teammates some sort of hope for the last quarter. They're not completely out of it. Just keep hanging in there.
They lead by 34 points, the Demons. The Pies took a standing 8 count in this third term, but no knockout blow just yet. They tie it up inside the centre square.
It took him a while, but Fraser has just become a bit more competitive in the ruck. I think Simmons is doing the ruck work now, but Jeff White really dominated, didn't he, for the first 15 minutes of this quarter.
Simmons in the ruck for Melbourne. Walsh. Lucuria sets it up. Williams weaves his way out of trouble. He was looking for Rocker. They'll force the ball to 50. Lucuria again taken to ground. Tackled by Collins. They'll ball it up 48 metres out from Collingwood's goal. Time clock, 1:40. Can they grab another goal, the Pies? They trail 63-97. They were 46 points down in this third term. They've dragged it back in the last couple of minutes. Rocker to do the ruck work. Dimatina, an important kick. Chance for Davis, can't get there. Bad bounce of the ball, favours Powell. It's where Melbourne's been good across half-back. Johnson, a ball carrier. A chip kick, but Theris is going to hit it hard and does it well. Kept his eyes firmly on the ball, crashed to the ground was Lucuria. And a ball up inside the centre square. Time clock ticking away, just a minute left in this third term.
Yes, absolutely vital for Collingwood that they score one though in these last 50 seconds. 34 points will be very tough to get back, as indeed would 28, but we'll just give them a chance, and now they'll have a chance to go forward. Free kick going the way of Craig Jacatine, and he's just told by Gavin Brown to kick it long. He's got Rocker, he's got Tarrant, goes for Tarrant, who just couldn't hang on to that one. Jukovic came through, Michael slapped it back, no free kick. We're down to 24 seconds and the ball over and out, and 22 seconds on the time clock. Right down in front of the Melbourne cheer squad. We're making plenty of noise down there. It's been a great quarter by the Demons. Fraser trying to do it on his own. Sends them deep inside. Davis coming from behind. Rocker trying to stand up here. Kicks it back to the top of the square, but it's all Melbourne. And Johnson takes the mark, and that'll just about do it. 10 seconds to go. So as long as he doesn't kick this to a Collingwood player. Oh! Just for a minute it didn't look good. Siren sounds. So a fantastic quarter by the Demons. They kicked 8 goals, 1, and Collingwood kicked 3 goals straight.
Magnificent quarter by the
Aussie.
D's there, an 8-goal quarter in fact.
Well, they say the Premiership quarter's the third quarter. Melbourne certainly have made it their own quarter. Mick Malthouse obviously got some problems and a lot of things to work through at the three-quarter time break, but we've already mentioned Jeff Farmer and his influence on this game. It was a 5 or 10 minute burst where he's just blown the game wide open with 3 goals, something that he has that ability to do week in, week out.
Physically getting on top in that quarter. Let's see if the Pies have got any petrol left. White, another tap, that's 15 for the day. Uze, another kick, that's 23 for the day. White, another mark, that's 8 for the day. White's kick, oh, Farmer! It was almost an accident, that, wasn't it? It just cleared the pack narrowly, and Farmer fell into the mark. He was leading out though, and he was in front.
And your little poem, Hutto, may end up Farmer, another goal. That's 4 for the day.
Yeah.
I was just hoping Russell Robertson wasn't going to take the mark.
Yeah, Robertson's had 10 marks, 19 possessions and 3 goals too. Farmer, 4 marks, 3 goals straight, and now 4 goals straight. Well, that'll just about squash out any thoughts of a Collingwood comeback, I would think.
Yeah, no doubt of that. Jeff Farmer has been the man, and as I said earlier, if I was the coach, I would never, ever have Jeff Farmer on the bench. He's not the sort of player that you take off the bench and throw him back on half an hour later to fire up. It's probably going to be worse. It's almost been a blessing in disguise, the injury to Ben Beams. You'd hate to say that, but Farmer's been magnificent since coming back on.
Melbourne by 40 points. 4 goals to Jeff Farmer. They've all come in about just under a quarter of football. White, it's been good today. Obviously over that shin problems. Phoebe across half-back. Finds Bruce, comes away. He's had his hands full with Tarrant. He's good at 3 goals. Uze has been an absolute star. Goes short to Leoncelli. So he'll share it back with Uze. Looks down looking for McDonald. Did well with a good body work. Got past Orchard. Then just arched the back. Ran to 50. Here comes the Wizard. He's hot. You can't touch him. You need asbestos gloves.
Tell you what, KB, if you suggested about an hour ago when he was sitting on the bench that he was going to finish with probably at least 5 goals, you'd put us in a white coat and send us home.
The Wizard kicks 5.
Thought about doing that for you a few times, Aussie, actually.
Well, we might get some more thrills and spills before this quarter's over. There's 18 minutes left, and he's kicked 2. I think if we look at the minutes he's been on the ground, he'd be lucky to be on the ground, I would think. I'll ask Kev, our statistician. He'd probably only been on the ground for about 25 minutes.
Well, he did spend a fair bit of time
after half time. After half time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry,
the first half, I mean, he never touched the ball.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So all this damage has come in 25 minutes.
And what damage it is too. 17 goals to 10 now. Fraser working overtime in the middle. Lockyer should be able to send them for, wow, how far did that travel? I would say 3.5 to 4 metres. Goes short. Curia, little dappy pass over the top, wasn't it, O'Brien?
And Kev, our statistician, just told us his 5 goals have come in 22 minutes.
Tarrant might unload this one right to the square, but little Jacketine's got to fight. 3, Jeff White! Oh, not quite. Uze, the full 360. Collins got clear. And that was all set up for Jeff White to take another one of those spectacular marks, wasn't it? Gee, O'Brien did excellently well to keep that in. Lay the handball off, and Theris's kick was fairly lame in the end. And then Uze. Well, maybe that's why he doesn't handball too often. 25 kicks and 3 handballs, though. Peter Walsh, who I reckon would be a real favourite with the Demon fans. Not so on that occasion for that little kick. Oh, Jacketine. Schwarz was bearing down. Richardson just got clear with the tackle. Jacketine's kick was also run down. So the Demons doing everything right now. Travis Johnson, one of the benefits of the day, although that was a bit of a no kick.
Push.
Oh, he's got to push in the back. So often it happens, doesn't it, when a player's running away, that you just do anything to stop him and you give him a shove. But I don't reckon. Was it maybe the second one that they paid there? There wasn't much in that at all.
In the replay, Jukovic, I thought, put a good amount of pressure on him, but obviously the umpire saw differently.
Well, Johnson sets it up to the top of the square. Richardson, Fraser. Did pretty well that time. This is Paul Williams now. Leon Davis not interfered with. He was interfered with. So he'll take the free. Not much on offer. Phoebe getting back to fill the hole, and Davis, I think he was going for Mel Michael, but hopelessly outnumbered. Travis Johnson kicks it beautifully to the wing. Robertson accepts. Demons just moving up a gear now, sternning forward. Neats well wrapped up. Farmer, number 6. Oh, he tried. He probably should have picked it up and handballed it to David Schwarz. Oh, Richardson took a long time. He's still over it. He must be in trouble. He was a bit lucky, I think. Just probably wasn't quite an emphatic enough tackle applied, and that saved his bacon. And there's a lovely kick at goal from Lucuria to concede and just get them out of trouble. 47 points the margin there.
Kevin Brown taking a spell for the Pies. Veteran now, Gavin Brown, is playing game number 248 today. Vatheris pumps the ball back. And Neats just too tall for Lucuria, for Jukovic. And goes short and finds McDonald. Loose players, some sloppy checking. Phoebe just shares the ball with Neats to the square. Farmer looks dangerous. He's got it.
Well, Robertson would have taken it if Farmer hadn't it, I think.
I could see him coming. He has launched himself. And this is great for football, because the crowd here today at the MCG has seen a player not touch the ball in the first half. He was benched, and he's come onto the ground, and in 22 minutes he's kicked 5 goals. Now he's going for goal number 6. Jeff Farmer. 6 goals to the Wizard.
Well, thankfully he hasn't been on the whole game, KB. He's kicked 5 in 22 minutes. Possibly that all-time goal-kicking record of 18 held by Fred Fanning may have been blown completely out of the water.
Well, he's kicked 6 probably in about 27 minutes now.
He certainly is something special, that's for sure, Jeffrey Farmer.
Well, it's exciting for Melbourne fans, not just that they're 8 goals in front, but that Jeff Farmer and Jeff White, I think just as importantly, are back in some sort of form. And we looked before the game at a graphic looking back at 1998 when they had a few losses mid-season and then came steaming home. And I'm pretty sure, and I think you've got it in front of you, KB, that they've got a relatively easy run home, Melbourne.
Well, they play 7 of their last 8 games in Melbourne, 4 at the MCG and 3 at Colonial. Well, we think they play 3 at Colonial Stadium and 1 at Subiaco, which is in round 22. So 7 games in Melbourne, MCG and Colonial. And
importantly, they don't play Essendon, they don't play Carlton. I know they play the Kangaroos.
They play Hawthorn, Richmond, North Melbourne, Sydney, St Kilda, Freo, Geelong and West Coast.
So it's really going to be in their hands, isn't it? They're in the 8 at the moment. They'll get a good percentage boost out of today. Zuze takes it over the line and out of bounds. He's going to get a free kick for over the shoulder. What have you made of Collingwood's effort today, KB?
Well, what I expected, brave in the first half while young legs can run and while physical strength doesn't take over. But in the second half, they're just too frail. They're not big enough, not strong enough, not experienced enough. And as a result, these stronger sides will just blow them away. Great kick by Williams. Kicks a goal. He's got 2.
I know it's easy to say, Aussie, but Collingwood need more of those goals, don't they, from Paul Williams? I'm not questioning his effort and his commitment around the ground, and he's been, you know, pretty reasonable for them today, but the way their forward line lines up, there really isn't anybody to kick those sort of goals, is there?
No, with definitely with Nathan Buckley out, and also Sav Rocker out the side, they did need perhaps Anthony Rocker to stand up, as much as he has been quite competitive today. Chris Tarrant has kicked 3 goals, but Paul Williams with 2 goals possibly could have done a little bit more.
Haven't got a roving forward, have they, really?
Not at all.
From the centre square, Leoncelli again humps Melbourne back, and that's a good strong mark by Betheras. Orchard has got the job playing on Jeff Farmer. Lockyer has been moved away. O'Brien across half back. Running hard is Tarrant. Kicks in the air. This will be a difficult one to take. Collins had the set. That wasn't a good kick because it was a bit too high. He had to run underneath the ball. Had to be in front of Tarrant, who's been very good again today. He's booted 3 goals. He's taken 7 marks. Richardson from behind thumps it forward. Leoncelli sees the ball over for a toss back in. 18-8, 116 Melbourne. Collingwood 11-3, 69. Main goal kickers for Melbourne. Jeff White has booted 6. 3 to Russell Robertson, 2 to David Schwarz, and 2 to Travis Johnstone. And for Collingwood, 3 to Chris Tarrant and 2 to Paul Williams.
Richardson can send them thumping forward. Rocker's down there, one-on-one. Ingerson did well to get him out of position. Tarrant off the ground. Oborn and to behind.
I might have said Jeff White 6. I meant Jeff Farmer 6 goals.
18-8 to 11-4.
Okay, but you mentioned Collingwood and the fact that their young legs took them so far, and then experience has just taken Melbourne over the line now. Where does that leave a guy like Gavin Krasiska? Would you play him, or, you know, obviously Mick Malthouse is going for a youth policy, but surely a blend of experience has to help them.
Well, I don't know how he's been playing because you don't really see him these days playing in the reserves, and that's one of the problems. Uze to the running Jeff White, trying to be a little bit fancy. Uze's been magnificent today. He's won so much of the ball. He's been an absolute star. 33 possessions. Lockyer caught. Magpie defence now under a lot of pressure. Orchard trying to get support from Scotty Burns. He had 2 Melbourne players chasing and ran after him. And Mel Michael has battled hard against Roe Woden. Caught high. No free kick. Loose ball. Roe Woden goes to ground. Thought he might have copped one high as well. The ball up on centre wing. Look, I think if Gavin Krasiska is playing really good football, he would be in the side. I can only suggest that he hasn't been in top form.
He had some injuries earlier in the year. I think he said himself he hasn't been playing great footy in the twos. But I tend to agree with you.
Look, you'd have to play good football in the reserves because the reserves is not a super strong competition at this stage. I mean, the first year of the VFL. So you've got to be able to dominate that if you want to get in, I would think, if you're an experienced player.
Yeah, but surely KB with 8 and now 9 losses in a row, it's not going to do any harm to put some experience in the side, no matter what form they're in, because possibly Gavin Krasiska may be a player that just doesn't play well in the reserves.
Fair point.
Walsh and the Melbourne fans will be happy. They combine well to get out of defence. Walsh can go probing. Neitz has just got that lurking look about him as he came charging out. Could have infringed. Schwarz, terrific play. James McDonald. Farmer for number 7. Yes, sirree! Oh, don't they love it? Yeah, I tell you what, they are exciting Melbourne to watch, aren't they? When they're going, when they've got White, they've got Farmer, Uze, Neitz, Schwarz.
Well, he might kick 10 goals today. There's 10 minutes to go.
Amazing, KB, isn't it? How he can just pop up and kick those goals. He is a freak.
Well, Jeff Farmer, he has booted 7 goals. They lead by 52 points. White jumping high. Johnstone is gaining in confidence. Good sign for Melbourne. Pulled off the ball. White, another one who's done so well today. Neitz takes the front position. They'll paddle the ball along in front. Robertson was one of the early stars. Uze Leaves it for Schwarz, the Ox.
Where's
does
Jeff?
well. The earth might be slow, but the Ox isn't. Goes wide, looks for Leoncelli. Couldn't quite take it. Batheris paddles the ball along in front, runs away from half-back. Drills it along terra firma, but the whistle is gone. And the ball is coming back, and Batheris will take the free kick. 14 possessions today to Rupert Batheris. Goes short. Lucuria from half-back. Mel Michaels a target. Ingerson, the long arms. Been a very strong Melbourne defence since half-time. Backed up by a good midfield. And an amazing game from Jeff Farmer. McDonald, high ball. Looked like a free kick maybe to Schwarz. Could have been manhandled. Davis the tackler on Wheatley. A ball up just outside of 50.
Well, 9 minutes to go. And Jeff Farmer is down on the goal scorer at the moment. He's kicked 7 in the second half, as we've talked about. Free kick to Schwarz. And Mark Richardson saying, I can't take a trick, or words to that effect. Schwarz goes for Jeff in the pocket. No, not this time, Jeff. The ball out of bounds. (19-8 to 11-4). Schwarz and Richardson. Quick kick into the square. Neats. Woden. Kept it in, kept it alive. Neats. Robertson dishing it off. Guess who? Oh, he missed the lot. He missed the lot.
Oh, get him off. He's no good.
Yeah, drag him.
Drag him. He's a hack.
He might have just got disorientated here, the Wizard. He just didn't quite... Maybe he thought they were the goals.
Oh, dear. Oh, well done, Schwarz. And Leoncelli drills it. They're coming from everywhere now. So the Magpies being overrun here at the MCG. 28 to 11-4. Yes. Since half-time, I think it's 13 goals to 4.
Yeah, the floodgates have definitely opened. There's no doubt about it. It's actually a shame. Collingwood have tried hard all day, but history will show that it's an extremely one-sided affair at the end of the day.
Melbourne by 58 points. Travis Johnstone really now gaining in confidence. Neats and Batheris. Again does well. That was a strong mark. And again to his partner in crime in Lucuria from half-back. Tries to set it up short. Williams. Out wide. He was looking for Kinnear. That's been ignored. Rocker was the target. Ingerson just paddles the ball along in front. Schwarz is caught. Good enough to just get the ball away, but he's been pinned. Kinnear has spent most of the game on the bench. Tarrant is going to hit it hard. And if they could get the ball down into their forward line enough times to this guy, he will be a potent force. Because he's got a great work rate. Walsh has just come off for Melbourne. He went off with injured ribs last week. Had a tremendous third term with 11 possessions. Tarrant is going for goal number 4. He is a real talent. Chris Tarrant. Four goals, 1 goal in each quarter to Tarrant. And no doubt he'll be part of Mick Malthouse's plans in years to come.
Yeah, 4 goals at the end of the day is a pretty good return. He's kicked a third of the side's score, so Mick Malthouse and Chris Tarrant should be quite happy with his form under duress.
So just under 7 minutes to go. White, I think that's hit out number 21 for Jeff White. And there's a throw paid. Free kick going Collingwood's way, being taken by Paul Williams. 17 possessions today for Williams, and that's a lovely kick. 39,710. And most of them still here watching Chris Tarrant take that mark. And it was just beautifully placed out in front. Lovely lead, and let's hope that Chris Tarrant can convert, kick his 5th goal. I think someone's suggesting that he should go back out surfing. No, that wasn't a great kick. Leon Davis, can he get the ball? Tarrant might get a second chance. O'Brien into the square and almost through. Just a behind. So 12-6, 12-5. Plays 20 goals, 8.
Phoebe goes short, finds Wheatley. Young man from North Heidelberg. Beautiful looking kick. A great kick. He was looking for McDonald, and Tyson Lane for Collingwood sees the ball over the line. Still just under 6 minutes left. And this buzz has been humming since Jeff White came on after being benched in that second quarter. He only had the 1 touch, and since then he has booted 7 goals. McDonald pumps it long. Farmer, he's got it. Now you see him, now you don't. There was a puff of smoke. He just pulled a football out of the hat.
Merlin the magician.
Watch Mark Orchard's face on the replay. I don't think it didn't change at all, but it was just a pained expression. We mightn't see it from this angle.
He's going for 5 goals in this last quarter. He's going for 8 for the game. Jeff Farmer, take a bow. You have been magnificent.
He held up 8 fingers then, I think, didn't he?
Well, why wouldn't you either? It's an amazing effort. It's funny if... but you hate to see a player get injured like Ben Beams has, but if he wasn't injured, I wonder if Jeff Farmer would have in fact been put back on the ground.
I reckon he'd probably be still sitting on the bench.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
Might be a blood rule back here. Scotty Burns coming from the ground, and Travis Johnson also for Melbourne. Just misery for the Pies at the moment. 12-5-77 to 21-8-134. Jeff Farmer has kicked 8 second-half goals.
Well, Kevin, our statisticians just added up the minutes. In the second half, he's kicked 8 goals in 40 minutes.
I wonder what the most goals in a half of football ever has been. I'm sure it's more than 8. I'm sure it'd be probably up around the 10 or 11. But
well, we know that Simon Beaumont kicked 8 goals in the first half against Collingwood.
Yep.
I dare say Plugger has kicked more than that for when he was playing with Sydney against Fitzroy.
Well, guess who? He's got it again. Let's hope he has a shot. Have a shot, Jeff. He's not wasting any time. Fairly tough kick. Nothing's tough for Jeff. Oh, he can do it all.
Well,
bow down.
Well, for all the fans here today, the 39,000, nearly 40,000 fans, they have seen a game that they will go home and they will talk about.
Yep.
And that's why Jeff Farmer is great. Because they'll go home and they'll say, I was there the day at the MCG where this man came off the bench and kicked 9 goals in a half of football. It's not over yet. And he's done it with brilliance, acceleration, just magic, and lapping it up.
Yeah, all the Melbourne members that didn't go to the opening of the ski season, they decided to stay and watch the match and be delighted. Williams gets it out of the middle. The long kick to full forward. No mark there. Wheatley under pressure, got the handball away. Powell, there's a rushed handball, but Collins turned it into something good. Leoncelli, Powell, breaking through the lines. Uze's been magnificent. On the end of it, Leoncelli's been great. Woden, a little quiet. Goes in short, spoils the party, goes to Neitz. Clearly Farmer was a better option than KB. He had 3 blokes in front of him, but he was still a better option.
I mean, I think we can ask the question, what is David Neitz doing? Surely he knew Jeff Farmer was behind him.
David Neitz really hasn't had a great day. He had trouble holding his marks, particularly in the first half. So an important kick for him here. He brings it back. I don't think he brought it back enough and behind. So probably today wouldn't have done much in Neil Danaher's mind in deciding exactly where David Neitz is more effective.
Lockyer brings the ball back into play.
Here we go.
Farmer. Oh, maybe a push in the back. No, he does it well to Powell. Keeps the ball alive. Uze kicks a goal. Yes! Touched on the line.
Well, do you reckon the umpire was... Why wouldn't he have paid a free then to Jeff Farmer?
Well, we might be just over anxious.
We might be a little bit.
Lockyer. Again to bring the ball back into play. Batheris, workmanlike again today from half back. O'Brien wrestling with Wheatley. Will take the free. He gets the go-ahead. Rockers the ball wide. They look like they could collide. Adkins to Williams. Finds Josh Fraser in front. That's a good grab. Time clock shows just over 2.5 minutes left in this final quarter. Josh Fraser yet to kick a goal today. He's a talent. He was very good in the first half. He did some really nice things. Just got to get bigger and stronger. First season of AFL football. He'll be like Jeff White in about 3 seasons' time. And Uze off the field. He's had a wonderful game. And Travis Johnstone comes back on.
35 touches, Adam Uze.
Josh Fraser. Can he bend it back? I fancy he's hit the post. He has just shaved the post.
Now, Kevin, are you going to fit Jeff Farmer into the votes?
You'll wait and see.
Played half a game. Just nailed the...
I'll keep you in suspense.
Just the 9 he's kicked. Woden. With a couple of minutes remaining on the clock. Out to the wing, Fraser, and White! Oh, he went high. He went for it. He really went for it. Let's have a look. He launched himself up. He just got a bit too much of a ride, though, didn't he? And couldn't stay up there long enough. So down to the last 2 minutes now. Lacuria, Jugovic, Slippery, Williams, Batheris. Pretty well tackled. It was Slippery there. You had to feel for him a bit, but Rigoni rewarded. He's got Johnson on short, or he can go longer. He goes longer. Down towards Neitz and Schwarz. Farmer!
He has kicked, Anthony, 9 straight.
Have a look at that.
Yes.
Well, the way that he has played has been athletic. It's been, when the ball's been down there, it's what will he do next?
There is 58 seconds left in the game.
For 10 big ones. Jeff Farmer. Oh.
And they're booing.
Take him off.
They're booing.
Take him off.
9 goals won to Jeff Farmer. And that is disappointing because 10 straight would have been just magic. Still, there's 45 seconds left.
One more chance.
Caught high, no free kick. They lead by 65 points, Melbourne. They lead by 3 points at half-time. Schwarz in the ruck. Richardson. Loose ball to Adkins. Just concedes ground, twisting and turning. Richardson just pumps the ball back. Kinnear running with the flow of the ball. Under 10 seconds left. Tyson Lane. from 50 out. Tarrant, second grab. He's got the free kick. No, the siren's gone. It's a big win to Melbourne, 22-11, 143. Collingwood's 12-6, 78. But that man on screen, they will talk about this game in a long, long time. In the first quarter, we had one kick and one handball. Never touched the ball in the second quarter, was benched. Then Ben Beams came on, played so well for Melbourne. Looks like he may have broken a wrist or a hand in the third quarter. Then this man came on about the 10-minute mark on screen with Richard Osborne and kicked 9 goals straight before he missed his 10th goal in the dying moments of the game. An unbelievable performance.
Oh, yours, Aussie.
Jeffrey, 9 second-half goals. You seem to be enjoying yourself out there, mate.
Certainly, mate. Got a bit of a kick in the backside there by Danners, getting taken off in the second quarter. It's good about to come out and show him that I'm capable of playing the game.
And Amuse, 35 possessions. Top game also.
Oh, it's great, mate. You know, Adam Muzo's class plays. We've sort of been down the last couple of weeks. It's good to finally be able to get a good game under the belt. Hopefully it'll hold us in good stead for the rest of the year.
Well, thanks, Jeffrey. You're exciting to watch. Unbelievable effort, mate. Well done.
I just want to say hello to my grandmother in Tampa, who's just recovering from getting out of hospital. So I love you, my grandmother, and the rest of my family.
Good on you, mate. Good boy.
Well, fantastic stuff from Jeff Farmer to think about that after the acceleration he's no doubt feeling. You almost think he would have lost, by the way.
It would have been lovely for him to kick 10 goals. It's not very often you kick 10 goals in AFL football in a game, unless you happen to be a full forward. I mean, a small player rarely kicks 10 goals in a game. And after taking that superb mark, it obviously just shaved the post, just went a bit left. Would have given him 10 straight, but I think 39,000 fans, nearly 40,000 fans will go away today. They will really talk about the day they saw Jeff Farmer turn it on at the MCG.
Well, the AFL should use this match as a promotional tool. Just get out those highlights of Jeff Farmer and show that around Australia. Try and drag people to the footy, because there's nothing more exciting than that. Well, and all the Farmer emotion, I guess we've forgotten about Collingwood, who started the game really well. They were competitive for a half, but their young legs in the end were overwhelmed by a Melbourne team that are in the 8 now, and as we've discussed, have got a relatively good run home. So the job, while being ahead of them, is certainly up to themselves. Some outstanding performers today. Russell Robertson, 8 marks in the first quarter, 22 possessions, kicked 3 goals too. Adam Muze, 30 kicks and 5 handballs, kicked 1 goal, 1. Jeff White, 22 hit-outs. And of course, Jeff Farmer with 9 goals. Well, cheers all round